Greetings and welcome back, guys, and welcome back to me too. I know it's been a while, but hey, we're back at it again, and let's get right into it. We got a max Magicka Sorcerer today. Okay, this was the first build that I decided to play, and honestly, it's fun. It's been a while since I played a max Magicka Sorcerer. These were kind of like all the rage back in the day, and then they kind of fell out of fashion. But hey, they're back with a vengeance right now. So take advantage before ZeniMax decides to nerf them again. So let's look at the build real quick. So we got 64 points in Magicka. We got 55.4 Magicka right now. This goes up to almost 60k. You could technically push 60k if you really wanted to, but I like this build is maxing out at like 59k, something like that. So tons and tons of Magicka, which is great because that is going to give you damage. That's going to give you sustain. That's going to give you shields, and the shields, of course, are also going to heal you this patch. So all around, definitely the way to go here. 30k health, 18k stamina. This goes up to 33k health and like 20 something stamina. So overall, great stats. Spell and weapon damage not super high if we buff up here. You know, not too high. We're definitely going over 4.5k, I think, when we're fully buffed. But yeah, honestly, like if you think about it, usually you would have like, let's say like 7k weapon spell damage, but you will only have like 25k Magicka, right? But this thing like legitimately just has like almost like 30k more Magicka than a typical Magicka build has in this current environment. So you gotta think about it like this. Having like 30k more is basically the equivalent of having 3k weapon and spell damage more. So you gotta look at it like that, right? Don't get fooled by the low spell and weapon damage. Yeah, the rest spell and the spell and the physical resistance not super high, but it's a light armor build. But it's gonna be fine, absolutely. And then almost 1600 critical resistance. We are Vamp stage 1. I mean, if you're comfortable with the sustain issues, you can technically push Vamp 3, but I don't like it. I don't like it. It's just things get too expensive in my opinion. So Vamp stage 1 for me. And then we're using the pickled fish bowl, which is a great food, gives you health, max, Magicka, and a lot of it. And if you want to fish, then yeah, I mean, it's gonna help you too. But yeah, that's the stats. Let's look at the sets. So you might already be able to guess what we're roughly running, because there's a couple of things that you can do, but the way we did it right now is 5 crafty Elfique. Pretty straightforward set, just max Magicka all across the board here. Nothing more. Then we're using the Ancient Grace set, which is, you know, kind of like an old school set, but it's still pretty decent here. Also, straight up just max Magicka. Then we're using the Death Dealer's Feat, which, you know, as long as you're in combat, you're gonna get more and more stacks. That will increase your health, Magicka, and stamina, and that's where your basically your max stats are coming from. That's why you can push your max Magicka so high, right? This allows you to really get to almost 60k, and like I said, technically you could really push the 60k if you wanted to. Doesn't really matter, but you know, if you just like big numbers, you could push it if you really wanted to. And we got one trainee piece here, because we just got one spot, and this is going to help you with getting some extra health here. And we're running Mighty Chuden as the monster set because, you know, it gives you some armor, gives you some health. So technically a pretty like stat dense set. And then of course you get the major resolve at all times. So lots of armor and a little bit of health here goes well with the build. So yeah, which means you don't have to run an armor buff, which is kind of weird. I gotta admit, like for me, it was kind of weird not having an armor buff because, you know, on the sword, the armor buff also means speed, and I was kind of missing the speed. But this just allows you to put more skills on your bar, which is definitely a good thing. So yeah, that's basically it. Light armor here, one heavy, one medium, of course. That's usually how I do my things. I still do the 511, which is you know, for a build like this, I think probably one of the best things you could do. You could technically you know, go a little bit more heavily into the medium armor. I wouldn't do heavy armor, but yeah, 511 for me works fine. When it comes to jewelry enchants, I got one infused, I got one arcane, I got one triune. The death dealer I think already comes with triune. Is that true? I don't quote me on that. Um, but it makes sense for you know, a build that would use that. You also have triune on it to push these stats even more. Of course, you kind of want to make sure you have some tri-stat glyphs on too. I only have two on. Optimally, you kind of want to have a tri-stat glyph on the head too. They're really expensive though, and overall, yeah, it's not that big of a deal. But if you want to min max, I think you should definitely put another one on. And yeah, that's it. I would say either all arcane, all triune, or all infused are good options here. Or you do a little mix like I did. It's fine. Sharpened, of course, on the front bar. We definitely want that because you know, penetration is important, and this build doesn't have like a ton of penetration, so you definitely want to make sure you get the sharpened staff. We're using a lightning staff here. Reason for the lightning staff is you get 12% extra damage on your direct damage attacks from the Destro staff passives, so that's definitely going to help you hit harder. So I would definitely recommend running a lightning staff. And then we got a powered resto staff on the back bar. Of course, you're going to get more heals out of this. Also, just good to have a resto staff just for sustain purposes. Should you run low, of course, you have dark deal and stuff like that, but just pop in a heavy attack every once in a while. It gives you a good amount of magicka back. So I think for sustain and just overall healing, this is the way to go. So yeah, that was the gear. Let's take a look at the skills. Of course, the skills, crystal fragments, the bread and butter DPS of any sorcerer. You know the deal. They're gonna proc from you casting other skills. Once you have a proc, you can instantly throw them. You don't have to hard cast them with the cast time. They're gonna do 33% extra damage, or they're gonna be 66% more damage and cost half as much. So really hard hitting. The next one is I tried a couple different ones, but I settled on the Dazing Soul, which is one of the new skills that you can make with the scribing system. This is not perfect though. The one that I want would have the class script on it, but I don't have the class script yet. So if you have access to the class script, that's the one that you want to put on. So what I've done here is we got magic damage and we got a stun. If you think, oh, I don't need the stun, I have streak, that's fine. You do just magic damage. That means you're going to have double the damage on your Dazing Soul. I tried both. I gotta say, I like the option of being able to stun people from a distance and not having to be so close that I can hit them with my streak. It's just better in my opinion. You can set up better combos that way when people are further away. You don't have to get so close to them, especially if you're fighting more, you know, dangerous opponents. You kind of want to keep them at a distance. I think that's the way to go. But if you're totally fine just streaking people to stun them, you want to go full damage here. You want to put the class script on. That's going to give you more consistent damage. And then whatever affix script you want to put on is up to you. I think the Major Breach makes a lot of sense here because, like I said, we don't have like a ton of penetration. Of course, we get penetration from light armor. We get the penetration from having sharpened. We get a little bit of penetration for our next skill in the Destro skill line. So having the Major Breach on top, I think makes a lot of sense. And you kind of want to set this up as kind of like your second hit. It's the way I do it. I usually put my curse on, then I stun them from range, and I start hitting them with the force pulse and stuff like that. But yeah, make sure you put this on before you deliver the big slap. You know, you want to make sure you have the major breach on your target. So yeah, that's my recommendation for the next one. Force Faults? No, Force Pulse. You can go with the other morph. I was kind of like, I don't know, which one am I going to take? I think overall the other one is better. Because you're not really affecting people too much with status effects. Of course, your skills can do that, and they will do that, and then you can technically spread things out a little bit, especially when you hit people with your Atronach ultimate, which we're going to be talking about in a little bit. You can get some spreading damage here, but I think overall, I think I would go with the other one, because there's just so many situations. Because when I first put it on, I was like, you know, how many times are you going to interrupt somebody? Turns out, quite a few times. I had a lot of times where I thought, see, if I had the other morph. So yeah, I leave that up to you. You want the extra spread damage, or you want the interrupt, whatever you like best. Then of course Streak, bread and butter mobility for the Sorc, pretty expensive, deals an okay amount of damage, and of course this is gonna hit pretty much everybody. It cannot be blocked. People can't dodge it. You can hit a whole bunch of people with it. This is great for stopping a Zerg, for example. I love doing that. When you see, you know, when you're defending a keep, you see a Zerg, they kind of like clump up at the side, and you know, oh, they're gonna come in now. They're gonna get ready. They're gonna cast their buffs. They're gonna cast their shields. They're gonna come in to the keep now. You kind of wait for them to come around the corner, and then bam, you hit them with the streak, and they all stop, unless they have CC immunity, of course. But this is a great tool to stop multiple people. I absolutely love it for that. Next one, Inner Light. This is just here for the savagery buff and for the passive increase in Magicka. That's it. You don't have to use it. You can of course use it if someone stealths around you, but honestly, this shit never pulls anyone out of stealth, so don't waste your Magicka on it. As your ultimate, I would say Power Overload. You can go with the other one, of course, for more sustain. And if you want, Dawnbreaker works pretty well too. I just like the Power Overload more. I tried both of them. Dawnbreaker is like, I don't know, sometimes good, sometimes bad. Sometimes I really want the extra AoE potential that the Dawnbreaker offers, but in most cases I just found Power Overload just works better. So yeah, that's basically it. You just activate it, and then you attack normally, and it turns your light attacks into really hard-hitting shock damage attacks. If you really need to burst someone down, I think that's the way you definitely want to do it. Let's look at the back bar. We got Dark Conversion here. Costs you stamina and regens Magicka. You know how it is. Also heals you quite well. Pretty good heal. Gives you Minor Berserk. The other morph gives you... what was it again? Minor Berserk and Minor Force. So at first I had Dark Deal because I really wanted both buffs. Yeah, it turns out I didn't have enough sustain to really do it that way. So I decided for Dark Conversion, because you have a lot of stamina to work with on this build, and you usually don't really need it because you're not going to be blocking a lot. You're also not going to be dodging a lot. So the stamina is basically there for just breaking free most of the time, and then using your Dark Conversion. And as I said, it's going to heal you. It's going to give you Magicka instantly, and then a little bit of Magicka over 20 seconds. Not a big deal. It was pretty good. And it gives you the Minor Berserk, and it also procs some other passives that are really useful. So that's your sustain mechanic. Haunting Curse, as I've already mentioned, this is your delayed burst. You put that on somebody, and 3.5 seconds later it explodes, and then after an additional 8.5 seconds it explodes again. In most cases you kind of want to recast it after it goes off, because like the delay for the second one is just too long in my opinion. So yeah, you put this on, like I said, I usually start with this: Light Attack, Haunting Curse, Light Attack, Dazing Soul, Light Attack, Force Pulse, and then if you're Fragment procs, Light Attack, Fragment. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Yeah, that's it. That's all there is to it. Hardened Ward is the next one. Got buffed. pretty massive shield on a build like this. I think fully buffed, you get like a 14k shield, 14.7 or something. Don't quote me on that, but I think with my amount of magicka that I get, 14.7. And then of course, pretty sizable heal here too. So you're shielding yourself, you're healing at the same time, and it's a really good skill. Like it kind of feels like back in the day. I gotta be honest, man. Like back in the day, max Magicka Sorcerers, big shields. They just didn't have the heal back then. Now you got it. So really good, really strong skill. Next one is Bound Aegis. This is also another one of those passive skills that you want to put on, because yeah, you're never going to use this actively. So yeah, the first effect is kind of block mitigation. You're not going to need block mitigation, but while slotted on either ability bar, which is insane. It is insane. It doesn't even matter where it is. You just put it on the back bar. Just put it there and forget it. It increases your max magicka, and it gives you minor resolve and minor protection. Like, god damn it, dude. Sorks have it so good. They have it so good. Imagine you put a spell on your back bar. You just don't even know it's there, and it's just passively buffing you just for being there. Like, come on, man. Like, whoever came up with this, whatever. It's great though, because it stacks with your inner light, of course, on the front bar. Inner light is a skill it only works on the bar you have it on, right? So this one can be wherever. Of course, if you really wanted to max out your shield, you kind of want to have your shield on the bar that has both of them. But I gotta be honest, for me, it's really hard to make the decision to, put like both skills on one bar, because if I do it here, I have to drop streak, right? Or like something else has to go. I don't like that. If I pop it here, then something else has to go on the front bar. Also not great. So I would say, honestly, in most cases, you probably have to drop an extra skill if you really want both Bound Aegis and Inner Light on the same bar. So I just suggest not doing it. Just have it on one bar and live with it. If you really want your Hardened Ward buffed, put it on the same bar. For me, it's whatever. I'd rather take the damage on the front bar than having like a little bit more of a stronger shield on the back bar. Don't really care too much about it, because you can just recast the shield anyway. It's big enough. You get enough healing out of it. You can recast it. So yeah, for me, not really any need to like squeeze out the last little bit of shield strength. And then the last one is Critical Surge. Of course, is going to give you the major brutality and sorcery, and of course, when you crit, it's going to heal you. So with this and the shield, you can sustain quite nicely. You just stay offensive. You stay offensive. If you take some nasty burst damage, you pop the shield. Shield's going to heal you. You go back into DPSing, and then Critical Surge is going to heal you. So yeah, pretty nice. And then for the ultimate, I really like the Atronach, and I want to make, let me make a statement here. Atronach is the better meteor. I know you guys like using meteor, but it sucks. Okay, it sucks. Atro, better. And I'll tell you why. Meteor is too telegraphed. It's too telegraphed. Of course, you can do the Meteor Streak combo if you really want to, but the thing is, you have to be close for that again. And you're not always going to be close. Or maybe you don't want to be close. Maybe you just want to hit people with like some range damage and stay ranged. So you're not going to have your streak to streak through the people to make them eat the meteor. And then, of course, your meteor, you know, you've been there because I've been there many times. You look at a target, you cast a meteor, that thing shoots somewhere off to the side, hits someone that's not even on your screen. I don't know how that happens, but it happens to me constantly. So I'm done with meteor for now. The Atro is way better. It's not going to hit as hard when it comes down. But here's the thing. No one expects the Atro. Everybody hears the meteor. Okay? They hear the meteor, and if they're fast enough, they're gonna block. If you're gonna streak them, they're still gonna eat it. But if they're like really good and really fast, they're gonna pop an immovable potion, right? If they really don't want to take that, that meteor, they're going to pop a removable potion. They're going to block the damage. They're going to move out of it immediately as soon as it hits. No one blocks the atro. This thing comes down without any warning. Bang! Hits people. They get stunned. They take the damage. And just overall, it just gives you more benefits because you can play around your atro. You can kind of use that to, you know, when people are fighting in a cubby, you want to get them out of the cubby. Boom. You hit that thing inside that room. If people decide to stay there, they're just going to get mauled by your atro because the thing hits hard. And if they don't want to be there, then they have to leave the room. So you can kind of control where people are going, you know? You can also use this to stun an entire group. If you don't want to use your streak, you don't want to get close, you see people running, you know, towards like a breach. You have your enemy Zerg that's running towards a breach. You pop that thing. It hits everybody. They all get stunned. They never see it coming. No one is prepared for this. And it really helps for just, you know, like stunning a lot of people, controlling where people are fighting, and just basically having a teammate that fights for you. You can fight around that Atronach, and if people want to fight you there, they're just going to take the damage. So this is basically just free damage that is going to happen while you are defensive or offensive. So I would say if you're using Meteor, try out the Atro. I promise you're going to like it. This thing is amazing. I love it. You can do trick shots with it. You know, it's amazing. Absolutely fantastic ultimate. Okay, that's the skills. Let's look at the champion points. Green Tree, kind of, you know, like it's whatever. Gifted Rider, War Mount, just for, you know, the extra speed and stuff, and you know, not having to use your stamina. Other than that, Sustaining Shadows if you want to sneak, but that's pretty much it. Steed's Blessing for a little extra movement speed. That's what I go with, but you feel free to do whatever you want here, whatever you feel comfortable with. This is where you know, where the important stuff is. So we got Fighting Finesse, Deadly Aim, Mastered Arms, and Arcane Supremacy. The reason, of course, for Arcane Supremacy is we're a Max Magicka build, so we want to put that extra bit of Max Magicka on. We want to make sure we have as much Max Magicka as we can, because like I said, it's our damage, it's our sustain, it's our defense. That's it. That's it. That's why you want as much as possible. But yeah, Fighting Finesse for some extra crit damage and crit healing definitely helps. Deadly Aim, single target attacks, and Mastered Arms, direct damage. Yeah, that's what you're doing basically, right? Single target, direct damage. That's what the Sork build does. So those are the ones that you want to have. Take all the free ones, of course. Take all the ones that you don't have to put on your bar. No brainer, you know that. And then in the red tree, we're going Boundless Vitality for extra max health. That's, you definitely want that. Rejuvenation for a little extra sustain. Bastion, of course, for bigger damage shields. And then I put on Celerity for a little extra movement speed because we don't have a speed buff on this build, as you saw. So a little bit of extra movement speed here. But feel free to put on whatever you want. A couple of great options, for example, is Pain's Refuge here. That's going to make you pretty tanky if you have a lot of effects on you. Sustained by Suffering is a great one too if you want more sustain. Or whatever you like best. But I think, you know, the Celerity kind of makes up for the lack in a speed boost. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the CP. That's the build. I hope you like it. Yeah, next build we're going to do is probably a Warden. I'm going to look into this. I have an idea. I want to bring back an old build. An old favorite of mine. And we'll see if I can do that. But yeah, Max Magicka Sork, kind of like back in the day. If you're an old school sorcerer, you're gonna love this. And that's all I got for you guys. I hope you liked it. If so, like, comment, subscribe. I'll be back with another video soon. Take it easy. Bye bye. Someone's shooting from the sidelines. I don't like that. Of course. Really annoying. Grab my balls! Quickly, grab my balls! Yep, couldn't get any shields off. Thank you very much, Cinemax. Appreciate it. Always fun. Always appreciate it. Never deserved. Oh! Ooh! Someone grab it. Grab those balls, baby. Oh my god, I can't even shriek, it's so laggy. In this spot, dude, like literally every player is here. Dude, I can't cast for the love of me. Yeah, always this freaking Nightblade, dude. Oh, Jesus, dude. That man really wanted me, but I didn't want the man. It's all about consent. Yo, my team needs to get it together. Where's that fragment going? Give the ball! Why am I hard casting? I had a proc. What? I'm being bamboozled. Center back is bamboozling me again. That's not fair. Oh my god, the whole game's lagging. Crack-a-lagging. Man, I wish I had a better AoE setup. Oh. Oh, need a second. I mean, we tried. We tried, all right. Did our best. We lost, though. Okay, we lost. What? Let me clarify that. My team lost. I'm still a winner, okay? I'm looking pretty good.